Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. The market price of XRP is finally starting to catch up with the actual value of XRP. And look, I've been saying this whole cycle, this whole market cycle, that XRP price is undervalued and that markets have a way of eventually correcting when situations like this occur. You know, speculators, they sniff out the opportunity. And there are additional signs occurring all the time that XRP is one of the winners. It's here to stay. And I want to talk about some of those reasons in this latest Moon Lambo hot jam, including this news actually broke just yesterday. Ripple to invest in rebranded Bitwise XRP ETP. It's just one of the endless number of things that has been unfolding throughout this year and even dating well before that, that indicate XRP is clearly here to stay. It's just been more obvious ever since, because I understand, look, I get it. I understand that there was fear in the market, and fair enough, after the SEC sued Ripple, effectively attacking XRP. I understand, of course, that's why XRP missed last market cycle. But ever since that's been cleared up as of July of last year, there's been a notable change here. All sorts of stuff has been happening. And you know what? Even Fox business journalist Charles Gasparino, who has been kind of trolling a lot of people within the XRP community, laughing about how the price of XRP was so-and-so price. Pick a point in time, whether it's 50 cents or 40 cents, whatever it may be. He's had a good old time with that. You know what he said now? Somebody asked, I'll show you exactly what he said, but he was asked, can XRP make me rich? And his answer was, maybe. He's started to change his mind, and I'll share with you exactly why he's saying that. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And folks, I gotta say, it really, truly is amazing how things have been rapidly shifting for XRP. So the good news is, in terms of fundamentals, things that matter, big picture, even before the market shift for crypto in general, we've seen that fundamentals for XRP are just getting stronger. And so the way that I view things is that the fundamentals are what attracts people like me, and I'm assuming you, all of you listening. It's what results in XRP effectively, though not literally, having a price floor. There are people like you and I where if it just goes low enough, then we're just going to buy because we're like, no, you guys are idiots. Look at the fundamentals. They're stronger than ever. You don't know what you're doing. You're responding emotionally. And so people like you and I that care about fundamentals, we prevent coins from going to zero if they make sense. And this is true of any coin in crypto, frankly. That's how it works. And this is the reason that XRP has always been in the top 10 despite all of this. There are people like you and I that get this. Even despite the SEC attack, XRP stayed in the top 10 coins by market cap the whole time. That's astonishing. That's truly crazy, especially considering the dramatic market dip in 2020 when the news broke that the SEC was suing Ripple and attacking XRP. It's crazy stuff, frankly. And so all of that indeed is the case. So, but the fundamentals have been so strong. So then when you have that, that's what allows for the opportunity for the retail idiots to be interested in throwing money at a thing. Since XRP is this well positioned because of the fundamentals, then when you get to the point where you're in market euphoria, there's new retailers jumping in, they will throw money at anything doing little to or sometimes no research. So when XRP finally does start running, like say it does run up to $10, which is plausible, I don't know if it's going to happen, but say it does, that part of the mania will not be based on fundamentals. That will be based on wild speculation. But the reason that's even possible is because of the strong fundamentals. So it's all tied together in that sense. And so the fundamentals stronger than they've ever been in the history of XRP. And then you look at where the price has been, especially compared against Bitcoin. It hit a low June 7th of this cycle, June 7th, 2024. And it's been obviously moving up since then. And so as that was happening and the toxic Bitcoin maxi trolls were laughing at us, I was like, no, guys. In fact, there's data to show that when we get in these moments, that's roughly when it does rocket to the upside. And wouldn't you know it, history repeats yet again. Going back a decade, go 3 cycles back, literally go 3 cycles back, and you will see that when XRP every time gets this value this low against Bitcoin, that's when it takes off. Because like I said, the market has a funny way of correcting for these things. And so there was this post from chart analyst Nick Crypto Crusader talking about a number of things, and you could debate about the degree to which any of these would matter in terms of the mania phase of this crypto cycle and how that would impact XRP. That's debatable. All of these things actually do matter, though. So you could say either they're great for fundamentals, in which case ultimately that can impact at a later point in time the degree to which people throw money in during the mania phase, or you could say, if it's your point of view, that this is going to be something that's going to make the mania even higher, even this market cycle. And so it depends on which item you're talking about in my estimation here. But here's what he wrote. The amount of possible catalysts behind XRP is insane. And then he has all these bullet points. So there's tokenization, the real world asset narrative, and that one always makes me smile a little bit because XRP has had this going on for it, the ability to tokenize stuff for over a decade. And now suddenly the world cares about this. I was talking about this on my channel when I launched my channel in late 2018. I was talking about how, look, it doesn't make sense to have the stock market, you just look at stocks. It doesn't make sense to have them function the way that they are. It's only operable during business hours and the technological process that requires, just if you just use a damn blockchain, you actually can easily have immutable transactions that occur 24/7, 365 without a bunch of heavy lifting. And so even then, the efficiencies you picked up, even that would justify having stocks on a blockchain, whether it's the XRP ledger or something else. And the truth is, I think that XRP ledger and other chains, there can be tons of chains or multiple chains that are going to have such assets on them. It's not going to be one chain to rule them all, but XRP, it looks like we're getting a piece of this. It is going the right way. But anyway, so all that to say, it's just interesting. That's the narrative for this cycle. That actually is fair enough. So if people pick up on that, that could be one of many things that at least some speculators look at, because it is true. That's a real thing. And then here he notes the Ripple IPO still looming. Now, I'm not convinced of that one in particular, because any news that's ever broken from Ripple specifically, even if directly about XRP, no matter how good, it's never changed the price of XRP. The SEC provably has had more influence over the price of XRP than Ripple ever has. Just saying. But then they have the Ripple stablecoin. Now, this one's interesting because this goes back to mostly a fundamental perspective, because the Ripple stablecoin, as issued on the XRP ledger anyway, requires the existence of XRP, and for every single transaction requires XRP, which will instill confidence, especially if the stablecoin is broadly adopted. XRP is here to stay because the Ripple stablecoin, at least on the XRP ledger, literally can't exist without XRP. It's just one more thing. How many times have you watched a video of mine throughout the last 12 months where I've been like, here's one more thing that, and so, all the time, right? And so that's because they all add up. It's not one single thing that makes XRP basically invincible. It's the sum total of all of these things, all of these developments. They're all amazing collectively. And then here he writes, full clarity, institutional sales, partnership announcements, XRP ETF. Yeah, by the way, I don't know if you caught this, but we're now on the fourth XRP ETF. Now the fourth one, paperwork was filed, I think it was with Wisdom Tree in the state of Delaware. So they're going for it technically, unless I missed it. I could have missed it. I don't think I did, though. I don't think they've yet filed with the SEC, but that would mean that it's coming in days. Otherwise, why would they have the filing with Delaware? So, I mean, it's coming. So that'll be the fourth one right there. The fourth XRP ETF. That's good. That's something that's going to increase dramatically the over a span of years anyway, in decades, the amount of the actual real world dynamics of XRP in terms of supply and demand. Absolutely, it's going to, because these ETFs, when somebody purchases an XRP ETF, it is backed by actual XRP. That's how that works. And then here he wrote, 7 years of accumulation, the breakout. Hell yeah. The longer something coils up and then when it breaks, whew, absolutely wild stuff. Major XRPL amendments. Yeah, there's been a bunch of that. Think about the automated market maker earlier this year. That's a major one. The total value locked has increased dramatically, and that's a key factor in whether or not a coin last cycle anyway hit a new all-time high. That's a major factor. We got it going the right direction, let's say. And people already sufficiently value the XRP ledger just for its incredible position, just in terms of, broadly speaking, in terms of payments. And then he said here, XRP ledger adoption grow, and that's for damn sure. Look at the number of new accounts. It's through the roof. And then he also noted relisted on all exchanges again. Yeah, and so all of this is true. And he wrote, although XRP gets a ton of hate and the frustration is at all-time highs already, the pressure is building. The only thing I am watching at this point is what the Bitcoin pair is doing. Yeah, and so XRP's been gaining ground against Bitcoin. We'll keep watching, but I think it'll be very clear by the end of the cycle, if you look from the bottom to the top, the price of Bitcoin and the price of XRP, XRP will have substantially outperformed Bitcoin and put it to shame. That's my expectation anyway. Now, here is a post from somebody named Mr. S. He wrote to Charles Gasparino, said, "Just tell me I'm going to get rich off my XRP, Charles. Thanks." Now, that was reposted by Charles Gasparino with a surprising answer. And he wrote, "My answer, maybe." And so I read that and I was like, huh, turning a new leaf much? So I was like, that's interesting. Definitely very interesting here. And so here's his rationale for it. And so I have a couple of comments on this. Here's the rationale. He said, "The game changer for XRP, in my humble opinion, is Donald Trump being elected president, and Chris Giancarlo, that's the former CFTC chair, Chris Giancarlo told me on Fox Business earlier in the week he believes new SEC will drop the appeal of the part of the Ripple case it lost. My view is that's very plausible." Right. And so I reported on that. Even before that, though, I had shared with you perspective from a number of attorneys, including John Reed Stark. He's a former SEC attorney, and even he, who thought that the SEC should have won, even he came around and he's like, look, the people have spoken. There's going to be a new boss at the SEC. It's all going to change. And what's going to happen is this Ripple lawsuit, it is going to be dropped by the new leadership at the SEC. And again, he's somebody that was not rooting for Team Ripple. That's for damn sure. He's not exactly a pro-crypto guy. And John Reed Stark, even he was like, yeah. So we already knew that this is most probable ahead of time. Attorney Jeremy Hogan talked about this. The writing's on the wall. This thing's going to go away because of the election specifically. So citing those two things. Now, my personal opinion, you guys can tell me what you think. The election obviously was a major catalyst for what we've seen in markets, both the stock market and crypto markets on a global scale, because that's when it started immediately moving to the upside. That couldn't be more obvious, right? Now, that said, I will still argue that had Harris won, even if markets would have dipped immediately, which seems kind of probable at this point, frankly, because it's not what markets and people in crypto wanted, you would have gotten used to the norm, and we're still in this 4-year cycle. Liquidity cycles are what prompts the investment of money in the stock market, and there's a reason it's cyclical. It has to do with when debts are due, basically, and I've talked about this in recent videos, many videos, in fact. And so that's still in place. So even if the market were to dip, my argument was always like, no matter who wins, you're still going to see move to the upside. It's just way more strong right out the gate because Trump won. That's what it is. That's what happened. We're going to have it regardless. And you could argue maybe it goes higher because of this outcome. That's plausible too. But we were going to have a crazy bull run regardless. I do firmly believe that. Liquidity cycles are liquidity cycles. That's that in my mind. Okay? It's going to happen despite short-term volatility based on news of the election. Now, as far as Giancarlo and what he was saying here, look, it is true that, so XRP did start moving up actually after the election, but the most notable move was when Gensler said he was going to resign. But to me, that's just the spark that lit the fire. The gasoline had already been poured. We're in this environment where XRP was going to move up regardless. And so I don't think that you can plausibly argue. Well, I shouldn't say plausibly. I don't think that it's reasonable to believe that anything with the SEC is a factor in XRP running to a new all-time high and getting rich off it. I just don't buy that. My evidence for that, easy. Look at October 2nd when the SEC filed the appeal against Ripple. The market didn't care. Do you know the degree to which it didn't care? Let me tell you, in case you hadn't heard this yet. But the price of XRP, graphically, it looked like it fell off a cliff, but only for 90 minutes. And the price went down by something like 5%, and that was it. For 90 minutes, it went down, and it went down about 5%, then it went sideways, and ultimately went up. You know what happened when the SEC sued Ripple at the end of 2020? XRP price plummeted, lost $15 billion in market cap, and it plummeted for a straight week. So this tells me that the market, broadly speaking, except for a few fringe cases here, almost everybody understood that XRP already had legal clarity, and whatever the SEC was going to do didn't matter. So Charles Gasparino, he's entitled to his opinion here, and I'm not saying like it's a completely wacky one here, but saying that there's this expectation because of the Trump win that, the SEC is going to drop this. Okay, but I think that the market already knows it doesn't matter, as evidenced by the October 2nd price action. If the market thought it mattered that much and then there's this appeal, the price would have plummeted again just like in 2020. So I just don't buy that. I don't find that compelling. I don't find that persuasive at all. I honestly don't. I just respectfully disagree on that particular point. But yeah, obviously, I mean, we're better off now market-wise, and XRP ran when it did because the whole market went because of the outcome of the election. This is good for us in crypto, obviously, unquestionably, right? And so Bobby A., he's a chart analyst, he wrote, the game changer was always the macro chart, not the BS narratives. Charles Gasparino wrote, nope, it was change in regulations. And look, in terms of the timing, like I said, spark that lit the fire, fine. But actually, Bobby A's right. Like, this was going to happen regardless. It was so coiled, and global liquidity cycles are a thing. I just don't think that Charles Gasparino, no offense to him, I just don't think that he necessarily is aware of those things. But yes, all of the analysts, the chart analysts who have been tracking this stuff for years and years and years, they're correct. Then we had this post from attorney Bill Morgan of the XRP community. He reposted that, and he said, the appeal will be dropped because there was no error made in the part of the case the SEC lost, and the political motive for continuing a near hopeless appeal will largely disappear when its main internal SEC enabler, Gary Gensler, resigns on January 20th, 2025. Yeah, and that's obviously true. And this idea that we could have been, you and I, regular people buying XRP on Coinbase or wherever the hell, the idea that we could have been in a contract and relying on Ripple's efforts purchasing XRP, you know, even the ones that don't know who Ripple is, like what Ripple the company is, and even though we didn't buy from Ripple, the idea that that would satisfy the Howey test was always completely absurd, disgustingly absurd. So of course that was a bad argument. Of course that was going to fail ultimately. Justice was done there. And so Attorney Morgan's absolutely correct. And then we have this development here. This is the recent one. Ripple, we got this news yesterday. Ripple to invest in rebranded Bitwise XRP ETP. Ripple said it will invest in Bitwise's XRP exchange-traded product, or ETP, as the issuer rebrands the offering to strengthen its presence in the European market. On November 7th, Bitwise announced it would rebrand its European XRP ETP, the ETC Group Physical XRP, to the Bitwise Physical XRP ETP, and its ticker, which is now GXRP, will remain unchanged. The move follows Bitwise's entry into the European market in August when it acquired the ETC Group, a crypto investment firm managing $1 billion in assets, including physical crypto ETPs, so on and so forth. And so, look, it's just the existence of this thing is one more thing. And you know what Ripple's doing? And again, so I'll say it again. What's just one more thing here? Add it to the pile. Ripple is investing. Look at this. And we don't have the specifics. They're not publicly available, but I want to share this with you. Piece reads as follows here. Besides the rebrand, Bitwise also said that Ripple will invest in GXRP. Although the financial details were not disclosed, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse highlighted a surge in global demand for crypto-backed investment products in 2024. Here's a quote from Garlinghouse. With the U.S. regulatory environment for crypto finally becoming more clear, this trend is poised to accelerate, further driving demand for crypto ETPs, such as the Bitwise Physical XRP ETP, end quote. Right, so there's going to be more institutional demand for XRP because people, individual investors, will be purchasing the ETP from the firm, requiring it to be backed by actual XRP. This is only going to increase. You're just here super duper early. I really believe that if we fast forward a decade, I'm not going to make a price prediction, I never do, but the price of XRP will be substantially higher than what it is now. You're just early. And congratulations to you. Like, it's surreal sometimes the degree to which we're early, the degree to which we have this opportunity for life-changing wealth. And we've been through hell and back with XRP because of the SEC, but damn it, we're here, we're in a bull market, and this bitch is running. And it ain't going to stop. I mean, it literally will eventually. But you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's not going to stop anytime soon. Like, we got to see that mania from the cycle. I firmly believe we will see XRP hit a new all-time high enterprise discovery. And even Charles Gasparino's like, yeah, you actually might get rich from XRP now. After insisting for literally years and trolling people for years, it's 50 cents, sad, that whole thing. And so it's nice though. It's nice to see. And even if I don't completely agree with his rationale, though he's not completely wrong, yeah, it's nice to see that. It's like everybody's coming around. Yeah, XRP, it actually makes sense. It just does. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.